Tom Brady. So he's got a podcast with Gronk. How cool would that be? I haven't started listening to that, but I'm going to now. What is it, the Tommy and Gronky or Tommy and Gronk show?
They could call it anything.
Tommy and Gronky podcast.
Nice.
And, Brady is just a different person now. He has just taken on an entire new personality and identity since he left Boston. And I love it. He's so much more interesting. Remember when he just never said anything? He was so robotic. It was really impossible even to really embrace him because he was so mechanical. But now he just says whatever. Now he's the one throwing out 50 and saying, what the hell? Of course I can. Of course he can. He's got 9 touchdown passes. He leads the NFL in passing right now. He's not going to do anything different going forward. He's going to be just as disciplined with his diet and his exercise and everything else he consumes and how he lives his life 24/7. Right, he could play till 50. Stop me if you want.
No, let me throw this out, Jordy. You might take the other approach. So this is what I read with Tom Brady. So he threw or has thrown 154 passes in his touchdown passes in his 40s, including postseason, 154. In his 20s, he threw for 167 touchdowns. He's 13 touchdowns away from throwing as many passes in his 40s that he has in his 20s.
That's 3 weeks.
That's mind-boggling.
3 games.
He's 499 yards away from breaking Drew Brees' record for the most passing yards in the NFL. 499. He's averaging like 327. So let's say he throws for 3 bills this week, right? Plays the Rams. Good game. Week 4, in New England, Sunday Night Football is when he's going to break the record for the most yards in NFL history. It's a Sunday night primetime game. Bananas in terms of ratings. Super Bowl-like ratings. You can't make this stuff up.
I hope that Michelle Tafoya or something, whenever Brady throws that pass that breaks the record, like say it's in the third quarter, I hope she runs to Belichick and says, you were the idiot that let him go at the age of 42. How do you feel? Ask him that question.
Mac Jones looks okay. Listen, here's the thing, guys. All right. The MSNBC ESPN put up a post about how Joe Montana, all right, it was a juxtaposition between Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Joe Montana threw 350 touchdowns passes in his career. Tom Brady has thrown like 340 touchdown passes since he turned 35. And it's just, look, we have to. I can appreciate Tom Brady, and I do, but we have to also acknowledge this NFL is not the NFL these guys played in the 80s and the 90s. Tom Brady has not gotten hit maybe once in his career the way Joe Montana got hit every single weekend. I watched Leonard Marshall of the New York Giants.
I was going to say Jim Burt
split Joe Montana in half. He didn't play for 2 years because of that hit. It went down as a fumble. It was a completely legal hit that changed the game. NFC Championship game in 1990, if I remember correctly, that would get Leonard Marshall suspended today. It would be a 15-yard penalty. There was a play over the weekend where Justin Herbert was ruled down in the grass on a pass he completed.
Yeah, it probably cost him the game.
He completed the pass, and we are a step away from flag football. So, with all due respect, and Tom Brady's amazing, and we did talk about technology last time I was on, a couple weeks ago. Last time I was on with you, this is not Kenny Stabler smoking a cigarette during halftime. Guys didn't come up working in the coal mines from the days they were 12. There's no reason that somebody can't play to their mid-40s.
No, and maybe even 50. But I think that we all know that, right? The game has changed so much. It's just evolved with quarterbacks. The rules have changed so they can play longer. But I think the biggest story here is Belichick could have kept on winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, but
he chose not to.
He chose to reset his franchise because the salary cap was going to get out of control. And also, what Belichick really did that was screwy is that Tom was helping him cheat. Right? This is the part about TB12. As an agent, you should know this. TB12, he leaves about $15 million on the table in salary every single year. How many times has TB12 been the highest paid quarterback in the league?
Never.
But so he's making about $25 million now. Is he going to make $25 million for the next 5 years?
Well, this is the thing.
$25 million.
What's Dak Prescott making right now?
40.
Okay, so Tom Brady should be making what, $50 million a year against the salary cap? How does the Players Association let this happen? How does the NFL let this?
He allows it to happen because he's smart. He doesn't want to tie everything up.
I used to get really mad at Eli Manning, when he was I believe still to this day, Eli Manning has made more money than any player ever in NFL history, which is asinine. But I used to say the same thing. I was like, Toyota's paying you $50 million a year. You need a left tackle. Take $10 million less. Get yourself a left tackle.
He's not making that. We talked about it. I know the hyperbole, but he's not making $50 million a year. But point is off the field. But the point is with Tom, I get it. Different era. They're protecting the quarterback. But he's not stupid. He doesn't get hit. He didn't get hit in New England. He's not getting hit in Tampa Bay.
Can't hit the wide receivers either. You can't hit the wide receivers either like they used to. They got the stick 'em on the gloves now. I mean, look, I'm not taking anything away. I'm not a Tom Brady hater. I'm just saying, call it what it is.
Well,
come on.
but hey, the other thing is there's 31 other quarterbacks playing with those same rules. He's the only one doing it at the age of 45.
Look at every year.
Drew Brees looked old. Ben Roethlisberger looks old, even though he lost weight.
Looked okay in week 1, had a bad week 2. I hear you, man. I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady. I'm a massive Peyton Manning fan, and his last year in Denver, he was all will. He was all intelligence, and he was throwing lollipops.
He took
a
hell of a lot more abuse than Brady has in his career.
All I am saying is that when you're comparing, and this is what we all do now for some reason, every conversation we have about sports is, but is he the greatest of all time?
Yeah. That's sports. We have to do that. You have to do it.
All sports are era. All sports are era related.
I agree. I hate the era to era comparison.
So how do you guys feel about it when someone tries to make the argument that Bill Russell's the greatest basketball player of all time?
He was the greatest basketball player of his era. See, this is what Chris Bosh just did.
I'm talking about people that actually say that Bill Russell's the greatest player of all time.
Chris Bosh is saying that he was playing against firefighters and lifeguards and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't think that this dude, if he had access to the same technology you did, if he had access to the same nutrition and supplements that you did, same coaching that you did, he wouldn't be just as great?
Well, this is more like the Babe Ruth, Ohtani kind of conversation, right? Babe Ruth, he's the greatest. He's the greatest. Well, Babe Ruth was playing against farmers and
sure.
I've never heard that farmers play baseball in the offseason. That's a good one, Jeff. I like that. I heard blacksmiths,
country strong for sure.
Farmers. There was no talk about diversity. No diversity. No Dominican players.
He never even had to play at night.
Right.
He never had to deal with lights.
But then people will be like, you don't
cross-country flights. Yeah, come on.
Brady's going to put some of these numbers so out of reach.
Lefty specialist.
But that's the difference, right? So Brady is so far. Like, Gerard, I hear you, but at the end of the day, he might be so far.
Okay.
Like in his 40s, the next closest player who's thrown the most touchdowns in his 40s is Drew Brees at 57. At 57.
Now you're opening up a whole nother bag of worms there, gentlemen. When was the last time?
Is it bag or is it can of worms?
Well, I don't know.
Where do you get your worms?
I don't get worms.
Jersey worms.
Yeah, I got ivermectin. I don't get any worms. The anytime, and this is, look.
Wait, time out. The what?
Huh?
What'd you say? The Henley? What did you just say? The Henley Tyne? I didn't hear.
Anytime.
Oh, anytime.
Anytime that somebody is that far outside of the bell curve,
yes,
what almost always comes out?
That they were doing something
that everybody else isn't doing.
Yeah. So it certainly happened in baseball.
It happens in baseball. It happens in football. It happens in
but Brady's got that guru around him, right? He
drinks 4 gallons of water and then looks faster.
Avocado
and
ice cream. It is true because you want to believe it, and then you find out later that Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco and Sammy Sosa.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
But you know what? That's not what this conversation is.
The shoe to drop with Tom Brady.
What do you mean?
It's not going to be steroids. I mean, what's going to happen? That he took, illegal avocados?
No, like if I had, look, it's ridiculous.
Not avocados from Mexico. He bought them from Guatemala.
It's ridiculous for me to speculate, but I would imagine he's at the top of his game. Steroids are like so old school, guys. Like everybody's taking some legitimate steroid at this point. You can mask anything. You can do stuff and hours before the testing and then be fine. Insulin is naturally occurring. Now you can take insulin shots to make sure that your body metabolizes fat. There's a million things that you could do. I would suspect now this is no allegation, I'm just saying if I were like OJ, like when he wrote that book, If I Had Killed Her, if I had access to the stuff that Tom Brady has access to, I think growth hormone and stem cells would be pretty much everything. I think growth hormone and stem cells are the fountain of youth anyway.
The other thing that's interesting about Brady, because of his longevity and because of the success, is how many other people have been able to hitch their wagon to him and then become great.
Don't forget, he tore his meniscus in his 40s also.
Yeah, and no one really knew about it until the end of the year. But like, look at Bruce Arians now, how you're going to judge him in a couple years. Two-time Super Bowl champion, probably. Great quarterback, position coach, and then a great offensive coordinator for the Steelers, the Colts.
You're just calling it for Tampa Bay already?
Nah, but I'll tell you what, it's gonna take a lack of interest from them or some injuries, I think, for them. They're clearly the best team in the NFL right now, talent-wise.
17-game season.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
We'll see. But his elbow, his shoulder, something should give. But maybe you're right. Maybe something comes out.
Yeah, okay, well, why are you guys always defending Bill Belichick? What the hell?
Well,
I want Michelle Tafoya to ask him that question. Hey, you're the one that let him go at the age of 42. What didn't you see? I'm kidding.
Well, the one thing that bothers me too
What didn't you
is
see? Was it so boring winning Super Bowls? Hey, thanks so much for checking out that short clip from Sports Now with Tom Zenner. If you want to see another short clip, click right here. Or if you want to see the entire episode, click right here. Thanks for watching, everybody.